Vikings is one of the greatest dramas on television. It has everything everyone wants in a show: action, adventure, bloodshed, gore, and even some partial nudity. But the showrunner Michael Hirst didn't want to make Vikings Season 7 because he had different ideas. I mean, imagine how hard it is to create something so good, and then you have to tell your brain to stop producing something capable of producing masterpieces. So, why is there no Vikings Season 7? The Vikings run is over after only 6 seasons, but the show's creator takes the series finale in stride. Michael Hirst recently sat down with the GameSpot to talk about Vikings' show ending and why he views it as a success. I knew in a global sense where I was ultimately going, and it was very satisfactory when we came to what I knew was going to be by the last season. I also felt that I'd said as much as I had to say really about Vikings, you know? I started and I was fascinated by their culture and beliefs, and I wanted to overturn all these prejudices and cliches about them. And then I fell in love with these notable characters. Often my days and nights for 7 years were filled with Vikings. I would write until midnight, and I commuted to Ireland every week. It was time to conclude the saga. Are you crushed that Vikings is over? If you're a fan of the television series Vikings, you must be disappointed that the show ended. The show is becoming more and more popular, making this all the more surprising. But the producers do not want to push their luck. They wanted to end it while it was still on top. The show has been on since 2013 and will finish after its 6th season. The show has been a success with both critics and fans. It has been a big hit for the History Channel, trying to change its image from reenactments of historical events to scripted dramas. The show has also been very successful in other areas of the world. What's next for Vikings? There's no Vikings Season 7 coming down the road, but there is a spiritual successor to the story. Think along the lines of Vikings Valhalla, the spin-off show that will premiere on Netflix. It's set a little later in history, and while Hirst will be involved behind the scenes, he won't have the same creative burden as he did on the flagship show. Jeb Stewart is going to be the lead writer for the upcoming series. The first season of Vikings Valhalla picks up 100 years after Ragnar Lothbrok's death and will follow some of his descendants. The first trailer was released on January 18, 2022 on YouTube. The trailer already has 2.3 million views at the time of this writing. One thing he wants fans to know right now is that his plan for Vikings Valhalla is not to reboot what Michael Hirst did with his show. Instead, he wants to build upon it and even make it nostalgic in some ways, while also putting a new spin on things. So what is Valhalla about? Unlike Vikings, which took audiences back to the beginning of the Viking Age, Vikings Valhalla will act as a bookend to the original series and explore the years leading up to the end of the Viking Age altogether. The first thing worth pointing out is the timeline of the new tale. Vikings Valhalla will jump forward nearly 100 years to the 11th century and follow the adventures of legendary Vikings like Eric the Red, Leif Erikson, Fridis Eriksdotter, and Harald Hardrada as they struggle to survive in a quickly evolving world. In addition to its focus on these familiar faces, Vikings Valhalla will also chronicle life at some of history's most famous locales during this period. These include Iceland, Greenland, and Vinland, North America, all explored by Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, who became one of the first Europeans to reach North America. In other words, if you're expecting another Ragnar Lothbrok story or a continuation of Ivar's tumultuous reign over Kattegat, or even Bjorn's attempts to replace his father, you may want to adjust your expectations accordingly. Can we expect more conflicts? After 6 seasons of brutal battles, bloody deaths, and romantic interludes, Vikings fans are well versed in the series' mythological take on Viking history. However, if creator Michael Hirst has anything to say about it, the upcoming Netflix spin-off Vikings Valhalla will be much more accurate representation of what really happened to the Vikings around 1,000 years ago. This will be a bloody conflict of faith at the center of this, which Vikings fans know so well. The war between Christianity and paganism will continue in Vikings Valhalla, and historically speaking, is one of the driving factors in the Vikings' downfall. Picking up where Vikings left off at the end of Season 6, the Netflix spin-off will showcase the expansion of Christianity into Scandinavian territories, which will put our Viking heroes in an uncomfortable defensive position. One of the big issues is the Christianization of the pagan world. Hirst revealed to Entertainment Tonight tonight. You're going to see Christian Viking armies fighting pagan Viking armies, and that is interesting. But I also want to do something that hasn't been done before on screen. In what ways will the new series connect with the original program? What's most interesting about the new cast is that they're all completely fresh faces. In terms of looks, they all seem to fit in with the world of Vikings characters, and we can only hope they possess some of their charisma. There's no word on how the new show will be connected to the original series. Still, it seems safe to say that all our fan-favorite characters from Vikings will be dead, and hopefully hanging out with Odin in Valhalla. Once the new spin-off premieres on Netflix, that doesn't mean the likes of Ragnar, Lagertha, Bjorn, or Ivar won't be impacting the story moving forward. Legacy was always a big part of the Vikings, so we should probably expect to get bigger insight into how their past adventures will influence these new characters' lives. Who is developing Vikings Valhalla? Michael Hirst, the creator and showrunner of history's Vikings, is passing the torch to Jeb Stuart for a new scripted series set in the same world. With a resume that includes writing and producing such box office smashes as Die Hard and The Fugitive, Stuart has stepped into the role of showrunner and writer for Vikings Valhalla on Netflix. Michael Hirst, creator of the series, will return as an executive producer of Valhalla. Who stars in this spin-off? Netflix announced a lineup of talent involved with the series. Here's an overview of the main cast and character descriptions for Vikings Valhalla. Leo Sutter is Harald Sigurdsson. Charming, driven, and a force of personality, he's able to unite both Christians and followers of Odin. Sigurdsson is one of the last Viking berserkers. Caroline Henderson is Jarl Håkon. She has kept Kattegat a peaceful, faith-friendly place when other communities have fallen into violence. Håkon is an exemplary pagan warrior and a fair and just ruler of Kattegat. The Viking Freydis will look to the powerful new woman in town for guidance. Pollyanna McIntosh is Queen Elfgifu. She is in a strong position to influence the political struggles in Northern Europe. Esbjorn Krog Nissen is Jarl Kar. He is antagonistic toward the old pagan beliefs. Sam Corlett is Leif Erikson. Erikson is our gateway to a Viking world amid great upheaval, a Greenlander from a closed family rooted in the old pagan beliefs. Frida Gustafsson is Freydis Eriksdotter. Leif's sister believes in the old gods. She's a faithful pagan with a fiery personality and strong-willed. Although she arrives at Kattegat as a stranger, she becomes a valuable mentor to those who follow the old religion. Bradley Freegard is King Canute. The King of Denmark is a fierce, wise, and cunning Viking leader. His ambition to broaden his influence will influence events in the 11th century, making him a key figure of the Viking Age. Laura Berlin is Emma of Normandy. She may be related to Rollo from the original Viking series. David Oakes is Earl Godwin, the King of England's wise, crafty chief counselor. Johannes Johannesson is Olaf Haraldsson. Harold's older half-brother is both a Viking and a Christian. He is physically imposing, earnest, and has a strong work ethic. How many episodes will be in Vikings Valhalla? Netflix gave the green light to an unprecedented 24 episodes for the hit series Vikings Valhalla. Compared to most of Netflix's other series, which have 6 to 13 episodes per season, fans are in for a ride with this new series. When will it air? Netflix's Vikings spin-off series, Vikings Valhalla, has a premiere date. Finally, Netflix announced on Tuesday, November 30th that Vikings Valhalla would premiere on Friday, February 25th. Are the original Vikings available on Netflix? You may want to rewatch Vikings on Amazon Prime Video to prepare yourself for Valhalla. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do that on Netflix. This is just one example of how streaming video wars are heating even more as Netflix faces more competition with Amazon, Hulu, and HBO. We hope we brought you up to speed on everything about Vikings Valhalla and why Season 7 will not air anytime soon. If you have any questions, kindly leave a comment below. If you'd like to watch more Vikings videos, check out our Vikings playlist on our YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.